So I just finished filming this whole video and I'm editing it now. And I realized that I didn't really do like a proper intro to this video, mostly because I didn't know what this video was gonna be, how I was gonna incorporate it into my channel. And so eventually I just decided to make this a part 2 of my graduation video. In my first video, I showed you my actual virtual graduation. So if you haven't seen that video yet, then go ahead and check it out. I'll link it in the description box below. But this video shows me actually opening my diploma and also my absolute favorite part of graduation this year. So make sure that you stay tuned throughout this entire video to the very end so you can see what my absolute favorite part of our modified graduation celebration was. Good morning. I am now back in Reno in our apartment where we will spend our last few days before we start moving to St. Louis. But like I mentioned before in my graduation video, my diploma actually got delivered to our apartment while we were gone at my parents' house. So while we were gone, we have a friend who lives super close to us, which is amazing because we live really far away from the hospital and campus. And he was super nice and was able to pick up our diplomas and another package that we had at our front door while we were gone. So that way, you know, the rain didn't damage our stuff or no one took them or they didn't fly away in the wind or anything like that. So I'm really blessed and grateful to have him in our life. So we are gonna go head over and pick up our diplomas. Okay, so we just picked up our diploma boxes that got mailed to our place and picked up from our friends. And then I also got this box, which I'm guessing is my grad kit finally. So I'm excited to get home and open these up. All right, so we just got home from getting our packages that have our diploma and hopefully my graduation kit in them. And I'm gonna open them now. This one I know is our diploma because Ryan just opened his and you can just tell by the shape. So I'm gonna open that first. Oh, cute. There's like this little ribbon on it and then a little like silver sticker to seal the tube. And then let's see if I can peel the sticker. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to just cut it, I think. Don't try this at home, kids. Thank you to my kind assistant. Okay, ready to open this. Looks beautiful already. It's stuck. Is it really hard to get out of your container?
Really?
There we go. Whoa. This is so crazy. That's so weird to like see my name on this giant diploma. Look at this. How beautiful is that? It has my full name on it and all the signatures of the different chairs at our school and deans. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Now I'm gonna open this box, which again, if you see my grad video, you know that my box for my awards was like totally dented in, and so is this one, so who knows why, but I'm gonna open this now. Hopefully it's my grad kit. As you've already seen in my graduation video, this is what my grad kit looks like. It's gonna have the same stuff that Ryan's had, so I'm not gonna go through everything. I have a couple letters. Let's see, I think this is just like letters from the dean and stuff that are kind of like generic. So if you see my graduation video, then you know we were doing time capsule letters that as first years we wrote to each other. And so my graduation video, I read the ones that Ryan wrote me and then the one that I wrote for Ryan. But this one, let's see. Oh man, this one's actually from myself. So let me read this. Wow, this is crazy. Dear future Erica, this is Block 5 Erica writing to you. First, congratulations, you made it, you survived. Remember those nights during first year when you freaked out and had totally unrealistic, catastrophic thoughts about failing out of med school? Well, you're here. And now is a good time for self-reflection and big picture thinking. Really evaluate how much you stressed over the little things the past 4 years about knowing every detail and every piece of knowledge. Was it worth the stress? Don't be upset with yourself if you did overstress. Just take this moment right here and right now to realize that those negative thoughts didn't benefit you in any way. Use this moment as a learning experience. Start this new chapter of your life with positivity, with this idea in mind. Hold on to what helps you and let go of everything else that does not serve you well. Next, look up. Look at all of the beautiful people around you. I hope you've taken the time to really get to know and care for these people. They are your colleagues and your lifelong friends. Remember that you always have the opportunity to touch people in a meaningful and positive way. I know you've always been your harshest critic, And I know in a lot of ways this has driven you and kept you going. But always remember that you are enough. I know you always doubt yourself, but you are an intelligent, compassionate, beautiful person. You're probably cringing because you hate compliments, but really just accept this one. Stay true to yourself, be kind to everyone, notice the beauty around you, stay inspired and inspire others. Love, a younger you. Wow, I can't believe I wrote this. This is insane. I've been talking, especially in my other grad video, like how graduation didn't really hit me and how I think slowly over time things will kind of like resonate more and more and the significance of this day will really like ring true to me. And I think that reading this letter is another one of those steps that just made it more real. Of course, opening my diploma too and really seeing it in paper, but reading this letter that I wrote to myself 4 years ago is incredible. And I'm so happy that I wrote what I wrote because I think it really stands true today. Like I did stress out. I did freak out a lot. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I just had so much self-doubt. The fact that my first year self had enough wisdom to recognize that these are the things I wanted to point out to myself in the future in 4 years is pretty incredible. I think it's gonna go in that stash of things that I save with Ryan's letter, with my letter, and then with this letter to myself as well, to keep forever. And I don't know, I'm just really happy I wrote what I wrote. So everything else in the box is the same stuff that Ryan had, so I'm not gonna bore you and go through this entire box. What I was looking forward to most in graduation was the ability to all come together as a big class, spend time with each other in one room, you know, for the last time in our lives probably. But you know, things happen, and in 2020, that's just not what was meant to be because of all this craziness. I think that one of my favorite parts about this whole modified graduation experience that we had to have was opening those letters, reading the letters that we wrote to each other and that we wrote to ourselves, and just to see how much we've changed, but also how much we've stayed the same, reflecting on how stressed out I was and how important I thought every single little thing was. And then to be able to look back on that now, having experienced the whole thing, and just to realize that a lot of those things didn't actually really matter. And the fact that my first year self predicted that I would feel this way, it was really incredible that my first year self was able to point out all of those things that in the moment I thought were so big and so important, studying for every single test, doing well in every single exam. And you know, I still able as a first year med student to realize that in 4 years that those things wouldn't actually really matter that much. Like, I don't know, I think that's pretty incredible that I was able to have that kind of foresight and to be able to write it down and, you know, read it 4 years later. So that was a really, really freaking cool experience. And if you're starting a new chapter of your life, I really recommend you do that. I'm super grateful that our school had us do this because I wouldn't have thought to do it myself. But now that I've had this experience of writing myself a letter, writing other people a letter, and opening it up later at the end of that chapter, I'm definitely gonna do this again. I think I'll hold off on that for a little bit just so I can have some experience as a resident and some experience of the struggles and challenges and overwhelmingness of residency to write about in my letter to myself before I seal it up. So I think I'll wait a couple months into residency. I'll write myself a letter, I'll write Ryan a letter, and yeah, and then I'll put them somewhere in my house that I won't forget about them and will be able to open them eventually. And for any of you guys out there watching this, I highly, highly, highly recommend you doing this and taking it seriously. And it's something that you will really treasure, I know from personal experience. So I definitely recommend you do that. Or maybe even talk to someone at your school or your program, wherever you're at right now, and see if that's something that they'd be willing to start for the students' behalf, that they'd be able to store for you like our school did, because it really is a special experience too that we wrote these letters and honestly like kind of completely forgot about them until graduation when they were mailed to us. So I think it's, I don't know, I'm so overwhelmed with how cool that was. And I can't recommend enough that you try this out for yourself. I don't want to invalidate anyone's struggles or challenges because in that moment, it is something that is overwhelming and anxiety provoking and scary. So often we sweat the little things. We have so many worries and we catastrophize so much that this one obstacle, this one challenge, whatever is in our way. But I think it is important to appreciate how much we're really, really capable of. And I think it's really important to self-reflect reflect on those moments that we thought we had the biggest obstacles in our life ahead of us and we couldn't imagine jumping over them. And then at the end of it, we can look back and really appreciate all the challenges that we were able to overcome and the person that we were able to develop into because of all those challenges and obstacles that we were faced with. So I don't know, I just think that this letter, graduation, this time of the year and in our lives, closing a chapter, these are all just really wonderful points of time in our lives to just take a couple minutes to really reflect on what experiences we've had and what we've learned along the way. So I hope that you've enjoyed this bonus graduation video updating you about my diploma and the letter that I wrote to myself. And I really hope that this inspires some of you to start this practice of, when you start a new chapter of your life, writing a letter to yourself in that moment for your future self to open, because it really does provide some really, really incredible perspective on your life. Like I mentioned on my official graduation video, on this coming Wednesday, I will be uploading a new video about my packing experience, my best packing tips for you and mistakes, and also our whole experience with closing on a new home virtually. So we actually still have not seen our new home. We're going this weekend to drive to St. Louis and move all of our stuff over there. And you can definitely expect to see some videos about our new home and unpacking and getting new furniture and all that exciting stuff that comes with buying a new home.
Pause.
Yeah.
Sorry, what do you want to eat?
One piece of toast, one egg over easy, and maybe a couple, like 2 chicken nuggies.